French President Emmanuel Macron has appointed his political ally, Francois Bayrou, to be prime minister. Now, Bayrou is a centrist, and he will try to lead the government at a time of instability in France. The previous prime minister, Michel Barnier, was ousted in a vote of no confidence over his proposed budget. It's unclear how the opposition will react to Bayrou's appointment, but the leader of the Socialist Party has already said that Bayrou would not be acceptable. And with that in mind, let's cross over now to journalist Daniel Brown, who is in Paris. Daniel, tell us more about the man known as Francois Bayrou.
Well, he's one of France's most experienced politicians with a strong character and a pretty high opinion of himself. Bayrou is another 73-year-old like Michel Barnier that he's replacing, and he's been ever present in politics since 1979. He was the Minister of Education 3 times in the 1990s, and 7 years ago, Macron nominated him as Justice Minister, despite a certain skepticism that Bayrou first had for Macron. However, Bayrou's had to step down from that post only 1 month after being nominated, after he was accused in a party funding scandal. He was eventually cleared of wrongdoing, but prosecutors have appealed against his acquittal. So it means that he could still be brought back to court while being a prime minister.
Well, other than that, what is the biggest job facing the new prime minister?
Well, first of all, there's international concern over France's debts that's higher than Greece in terms of GDP, and demands from international bodies and banks to apply severe austerity measures are still there. You remember that France is living with a debt that's the equivalent of 6% of the country's GDP. That's the highest among Western economies. And the draft budget that Michel Barnier suggested, seeking 60 billion euros in savings to address this deficit, is what brought him down. And Bayrou could well put this on the table again. Then there's these internal tensions in this unprecedented National Assembly with these 3 major blocs, the biggest of which I'd like to remind your viewers is the New Popular Front, the NFP coalition, which from the beginning has been hostile to Bayrou's nomination. Now, already the biggest party in this coalition, France Unbowed, LFI in French, announced it will vote a no confidence motion. The Greens are saying that the decision to nominate Bayrou is simply ridiculous, I'm quoting, denouncing Macron for playing with France's democracy. And the extreme right-wing National Front, RN party, is saying that they're going to really be keeping a very careful eye on what he's going to bring onto the table.
Daniel, I've got about 30 seconds. Let me ask you, based on everything you're telling us, is he going to last longer than his predecessor did?
Well, that's the 64 million euro question, I'd say. Analysts are actually saying he's even more fragile than the previous prime minister. The extreme right wing and our party, which is the single largest party in the National Assembly, saying they'll vote against him unless he agrees, in their words, to listen to the opposition and to build a reasonable and well thought out budget. Typically vague and populist statement from this party.
Journalist Daniel Brown in Paris with the latest there on the new Prime Minister of France. Daniel, thank you.